I often think about older folks and all the things that they have done in their life and all of the things that they've accomplished. Um, and, I often am just very proud of all of those things that people before us have actually done. And it's usually what we know is usually a few people do it for a lot of people, right? That there is individuals that are peppy for whatever reason, but I'm grateful. I sort of think about the challenges that they go through. And, we probably don't give them enough fanfare in terms of all of the things that we do. We sort of often crap on other people and we say that their, their generation was a problem or whatever. All of this sort of silliness that goes on. But you got to take a step back and think about it. Like they are doing they did amazing things. Like other people have done amazing things. And then on top of it, there is a group of people that are still alive that are, considered older, but they're still really peppy and doing things. Um, this that there is a swim coach that I know of in town, and the guy is like 83 years old and still driving um to go do swimming, to coach swimming, or driving from a long ways away and still doing that out on the pool deck. I just think about like that's awesome, right? Like one way you can think about is, oh, that person is sort of trapped in what they're doing and all that kind of like nonsense. Or you can look at it and say that that is an incredible thing that they're actually doing. And they're repeatedly doing this all the time. I want you to think, I'm like deeply appreciative of people that are like that get up and get going, that constantly try, no matter how old they are. You got to remember too, as you get a little older, yeah, you know, things maybe are not as easy, right? It is challenging to get up, or you just collect different ailments. Things don't work as easily anymore. But that there is a group of people that are still getting up and getting going. And I want you to think about that. Like, is that going to be you? And how are you going to ensure that that is going to be you, that you're still going, that you're still peppy, that you're excited to get up? And I'm going to tell you that it's not every day that you feel like that. Like, I know this person. It's not every day that they're peppy and all that kind of stuff, but they still get up and they still get going. And I think about, in your life, no matter how old you are, if you're in your, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 60s, there's somebody that's 10 years older, 20 years older than you still getting up and making life happen and being excited for the things that are going on in their life. Um, and I want you to think about that, like how much you actually have to live for. Even when you're in your 80s, there's still people that are in their hundreds, right? And that means you got 20 years, good years of doing a lot of stuff, like getting up and moving and being part of life. I just think we have this limited amount of time, like I don't know, maybe tops 100 years for some of us, maybe 120 years, right? Like we have a limited amount of time. And why not make use of it in the sense of like not being depressed and all that kind of stuff? But like at every moment, think about like, is this a valuable moment, a valuable thing I'm doing? And sometimes, yeah, scrolling on your phone is valuable. You need that. It's fun. It's enjoyable, right? Like having those things. But then there's all these other things that are going on. And think like this, it often diminishes the awards and all that kind of stuff that you get or you're supposed to get or should have gotten. And you think about it like, I'm just living life. Like my focus is thinking about how can I sort of just be okay in any given moment. And those, I'm not talking about like being happy go lucky and smiling and all that kind of stuff all the time. But what I'm talking about is, you've got a long life. How are you going to live it so that you're fulfilled and you're having a good time? And that in any given moment, you got a twinkle in your eye. And that requires work. That's not something that happens all at once. I think about there's moments. For me, one of the best things I've ever done is the Reciprocity Project, because I get to document and go through all of the things of what is going on in my life. And there's lots of days where I just don't feel like doing anything, that, things just don't seem to be going the way that I would like, but I get back up and I do it again. Right. And the same as you, right? There's always another morning. Well, there's almost always another morning until you don't. But there's another morning for you to get up and to get going, right? Like even if you have cancer or whatever, there's another morning. Get back up. You had a bad day with cancer treatment. It doesn't feel good, but you get back up and you do it again. The next day you go back at her and you just charge at it. I think we need to really think about this. What does it mean to live a healthy life where you feel good about yourself? You feel like you're going to do something every day. I think that requires you and myself to really begin the process of loving ourselves, regardless of what actually happens. And that is a hard thing to do. That's where we need to really start embracing some really powerful things in our lives, where we need to come back and just be okay, right? Like forgetting about this notion. We have this sort of bizarre notion that, and I blame academics for this. This is their fault. And, I'm an academic. We have this bizarre notion that you put in the effort and you get some sort of reward. Well, there's so many things in life that are not like that. And they're far more complicated. I think we need to just live life as like, hey, I'm good with who I am, and I'm okay to get back up and do this again today. And I want you to think about that, regardless of what is actually going on. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.